I'm gonna show off all the basic 1 to 2s and a couple 3-card combos. Just all if you know all of these, or if you memorize and know how to do all of these, you'll be ready to take this deck into rank basically. Well, one thing you'll notice is that every single one of these combos dies to Nibiru. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I want to play this deck now, because Nibiru has never been as unpopular in Master Duel as it has been now, you know, with Runix and Despia and being the top decks. And now you got more shit like Dynamorphia and Labyrinth, more common play decks that just do not care about Nibiru at all. So pretty much the majority of decks now, if they're running Nibiru at all, they're running it at most at 1 as a crossout target, and a lot of decks don't even run crossout. So yeah, playing this deck, I've gotten Nibiru like maybe 3 times in a month and a half or so. So yeah. And also, this is a Master Duel focused combo video obviously, but I'm pretty sure these combos, if you're playing the TCG as well, they're basically the same. It's just, you know, in the combos where I end on Bagooska, I would imagine you would prefer to end on Dweller instead. But other than that, it's the same combos pretty much. So combo 1 is gonna be just Gazelle. We'll dump an Ash to actually show something neat about the Salad deck. So normal Gazelle, dump Spinny, special Spinny, and exceeds into Mirage Salio. And Mirage Salio will detach 1, usually Gazelle, but it doesn't really matter in this case. Summon a Jaguar from deck. Link off the Jack that you just summoned into a Phalanx. This would add us our Sanctuary. Of course, we always open this card, so and then link these 2 off into a Sunlight Wolf. Do not trigger Mirage Salio if you're going first, obviously. You can return your own, and you don't want to return your own Sunlight Wolf. Next, we'll use Jaguar Engrave, put back the Mirage Salio, special to the Sunlight Wolf zone, and then trigger Sunlight Wolf effect. Normally we would add Gazelle, but the cool thing about this deck is the interaction with Ash Blossom is that Ash is a fire monster. So, say we discarded it for Cyan Mining in this example, but also say our opponent had a Max C, and we used Ash to stop their Max C, we can always add back an Ash Blossom to our hand. And it doesn't matter, the restriction is we can't summon it this turn, which is fine because we're just going to use it on our opponent's turn. Next, Jaguar into Lingeribo. And then we can turn these 2 into a Heat Soul, which will draw us another card. So again, Heat Soul is not the main focus of pure salads. You go into Heat Soul when either you get hand trapped or you have hands where you either don't have Gazelle, or Gazelle is your only monster and you don't have enough salad monsters to go into your salad plays. Then you would just end on Heat Soul because your hand's probably a bunch of hand traps, like so. And obviously, on the opponent's turn, make sure you have toggle on. So you wanna draw with Heat Soul during the draw phase. But yeah, we would end on 5-6 cards in hand. Okay, so this is pretty much the worst combo in the deck, and it's the only other one card combo, or true one card combo. It's where if the only salad monster you open is Jaguar. So obviously with this Master Duel, you know, we can't pick our hands, so you wouldn't do this play if you open this hand, but just to prove that if all you open was Jaguar, you can still make somewhat of a play. Is normal Jack. Go into Bale. And Bale will get us our Sanctuary. Next, activate Sanctuary, and we have to relink our Bale into another Bale. Such so we get another Salad name into the grave so that we can use that to summon back Jaguar. I'm putting back the Bale. Then these two we would turn into Splash Mage. And Splash will revive the Jaguar again. And this is how we go into Heat Soul. So basically, if you only open Jaguar or Gazelle, your play is to end on a Heat Soul. So next is traditionally a 2-card combo that didn't accomplish much prior to Heat Soul, since you didn't have Gazelle access, so you wouldn't be able to really do anything. And that would be either Spinny plus Jaguar or Foxy plus Jaguar. Now, if you have a Spinny and Jaguar, you would normal summon the Jaguar first, and if you had Foxy and Jack, you would summon the Foxy first. So we'll show. Basically, they end on a similar result. We'll normal summon Jack. Link off into Bale, which will get us our Sanctuary. If we had Foxy instead of Spinny, we would normal summon the Foxy first, going to Bale, and then discard the Jack to summon the Foxy. Instead, we're here, since we use the Spinny route, we'll Spinny pitch itself. Next, activate Sanctuary. Reeling into Bale again. That way we can summon out the Jaguar by putting back the Bale and not the Spinny. Then revive the Spinny as well. Doesn't matter when you do it really, but just make sure it's on board. Go into a Splash Mage with Jack and Bale. And then Splash Mage, revive Jaguar. Turn Splash Mage and either one of these two into a Transcode. And Transcode will bring back the Splash Mage. And then Splash and the leftover body, in this case for us Spinny, will go into a Heat Soul that we can now co-link to a Transcode. So at the very least, even though we don't get access to our Salad engine with this 2-card combo, we do get 2 untargetable Code Talkers that are quite big and will generate us advantage. And for example, especially if you're like playing against Runic, as I've mentioned, co-linked Transcode Talker plus another monster is really hard for them to deal with, since they can't target. They have 3 essentially Runic spells that they can't use to out our board. So this can get out of hand really quickly. It's playing specifically against Runic in this meta as well. Obviously, draw phase, draw another card. That would have been nice to know we had. So now we're going to be getting into the bread and butter combos, which are the ones that actually involve ending on Salamangreat extra deck monster instead of just Heat Soul. So this one, there's a few different combinations of cards that work. You can have Gazelle plus Jaguar, Gazelle plus Spinny, or Gazelle plus Foxy with another salad card to discard. So basically, we'll normal the salad monster we have. This kid will use Jaguar. Go into Balinks. Bale will add a Sanctuary. And we will also trigger Gazelle. Next, Gazelle will dump the other salad we didn't have. If we started with Jaguar, we would dump Spinny, and if we started with Spinny or Foxy, we would dump a Jaguar. Just so our grave setup should have a usable level 3 and Jaguar in it. Next, revives the level 3, either be Spinny or Foxy. And then exceeds into Mirage Salio. Then detach Gazelle. Summon out Falco from the deck, or you can summon another Jaguar. Just summon a level 4 salad basically. Then link Bailings and Mirage Salio into Sunlight Wolf. Don't trigger Mirage. Use Jaguar to put back the Mirage Salio. Summon to the Sunlight Wolf link point, and Sunlight Wolf will add us back our Gazelle. Now even though we did not dump a salad trap in this case, it's important to note that because we started off our turn with Circle, that it's still worth it to relink our Sunlight Wolf into itself, because you can always add back Circle at the very least with Sunlight Wolf, just to get a free card. Then with our 2 level 4s on board, we can go into a Bagooska. So important note about Circle, it's actually relevant to add it back and set it for our opponent's turn because it has a secret effect. You know, everyone knows the Rhoda effect, but you can also use this to target a Saddle Link monster and make it unaffected by other monster effects. So, you know, for example, if they try to say Vashuda our Sunlight Wolf, you can chain Circle targeting the Sunlight Wolf, and then the Vashuda will do nothing. If they try to bait out a negate that we have, you can just circle it, you know. So with our 2 card combos involving Gazelle, you have a choice of either ending on Bagooska or ending on a salad trap. So we showed the Bagooska route. Now I'll show the way to get a live salad trap. So we will add our Gazelle. This time we're gonna show the route involving Gazelle plus a level 3. This time we'll use Foxy with a Jaguar discard. We'll pretend that this is a useless salad like Falco instead of a Jaguar. Obviously, most of the time when you use Foxy, your combo line will change because a lot of your salads are useful in grave. But we'll just be using the Foxy this time as basically just the same as we would a Spinny. So normal Foxy, don't use the effect. go into Balinks, and trigger Gazelle. Now Gazelle will send instead of another salad monster, it will send a salad trap card of our choice. So we'll use Roar. And then we will summon out the level 3 we dumped, either Spinny or Foxy. Do not destroy your own sanctuary. Then Exceed into Mirage Salio again. Get used to seeing this line. Detach Gazelle. And we'll summon a Jaguar from our deck. We're gonna pretend this Jaguar doesn't exist for the sake of this 2-card combo, so that's why we'll get a Jack. Then Sunlight Wolf with Mirage Salio and Balinks. Do not trigger Mirage Salio. Next, link the Jaguar into another copy of Balinks. And Sunlight Wolf will add us back our Gazelle. Next, relink our Sunlight Wolf to a free zone, the other EMZ basically. Roar has an effect where if you link summon a Salamangreat monster using just itself as a link monster, you can reset it but banish it. Usually you don't want to do this because you don't want this Roar to banish itself when you use it. Because we relink Sunlight Wolf, we can just simply add it back to our hand instead and not face and not have to worry about it banishing itself. And now we end on a Sunlight Wolf, a Balinks, and a Roar. So even if they have a Kaiju, we still have a live Saddle Link monster to set with, so that our Roar is still alive. And we added a Gazelle back to hand. Now I don't recommend if you want you can continue further if you think your hand's not good enough. I don't recommend doing this personally, but you can go even further beyond and return a Sunlight Wolf back to the extra to resummon Jack. Then turn Jack into a Lingerable. And then turn Sunlight Wolf and Lingerable into a Heat Soul as well to draw another card. And Roar is still live because we do still have the Balinks on the field, and it's not as simple as to just run it over because we can always protect Balinks once with another Balinks in grave. So it is still some effort to try and get over this, but generally I just like to keep the Sunlight Wolf on field instead of going to another Heat Soul, since it makes sure that our Salad Trap is live most often and we don't have to use our Balinks unnecessarily, basically. So we'll see if another thing to note is during our opponent's turn, say after we use Roar to negate something, then if they somehow out one of our salad monsters on the field outside of battle, like with something say like a extra lightning storm, and our salad monster goes to the grave, with the Gazelle that we just added to our hand, we can also trigger it to special summon it after our salad link monster gets destroyed. and then we can send a Falco from deck, and then Falco will reset the roar that we just used on our during the same turn. So that's something that's an important interaction to note that comes up sometimes. So just to note, any combo involving Gazelle and another Salad monster can also be done with a Flame Buffalo, discarding the Salad monster instead of normal summoning it. So that will also trigger Gazelle from your hand. So, case in point, this next combo is Gazelle plus Jaguar, and we'll do the line where we end on a Salad Trap instead of Bagooska. So this time we can normal Buffalo. Go into Bailings. Chainlink 1 buff. Chainlink 2 Bailings. And now we can pitch the Jaguar, and that will let us trigger a Gazelle from hand. And Gazelle, we will dump a Salad Trap of our choice. We'll go for a Rage this time. Now, because we don't have access to 2 level 3s, we cannot do the Mirage Stallia line. So instead we're just going to go directly into Sunlight Wolf with Gazelle and Bailings. And we will relink our Sunlight Wolf right away with Sanctuary. And Sanctuary will add us back our Rage. Now we can summon Gazelle by putting back the other Silent Wolf. That way we get to keep the Bailings engraved. And then Silent Wolf will add us back our Gazelle. And then it's always safe. You always want to link your extra Salad monster into another Bailings. That way you have 2 Salamangreat links on the field, so you play around a Kaiju, so your Salad Trap is still alive. And yeah, it's the setup with the dumping a trap card is really nice because obviously I mentioned if you use the trap and they out one of your link monsters, you can summon Gazelle to dump Falco and reset the trap. But even if you don't trigger Gazelle on your opponent's turn, if one of your link monsters live until the next turn, you can just keep adding back this rage every turn. And then you can dump more stuff like Falco and more other spell traps for even more advantage. So this is the most ideal turn 1 combo, which will let you end on both Bagooska and a live Salad Trap. It just requires Gazelle, Jaguar, and a live Spinny or a Foxy. Or instead of the Jaguar, you could also just hard draw a trap. Because if you hard draw a trap, then obviously you don't need to bother sending it to re-add it back because you already have it. So we'll add our Gazelle and our Jaguar. We can actually pitch Roar, and we can do something cool with that later. So yeah, normal summon Jaguar. If we had Foxy instead of Spinny, we would normal summon Foxy. Go into Bailings. Trigger Bale and trigger Gazelle. Gazelle will dump our salad trap of choice. In this case, Rage. Triggers Spinny to revive Spinny. And go into Mirage. Just detach Gazelle to summon a Falco from deck. Could be either level 4. Link Bale and Stalio into Sunlight Wolf. Trigger Jack, put back the Stalio. Summon to the Sunlight Wolf zone, and Sunlight Wolf will add his back card Gazelle. Activate Sanctuary and re-link Sunlight Wolf using Sanctuary. So the thing we can do now is, since we actually opened Roar, if you really wanted to like just commit to the full board, you can just use Roar to set its effect, to set it with its own effect. It will banish itself, but if you really want to possibly end the game early, you can end on both salad traps if you drew the Roar. Then go into a Bagooska. So again, this is Bagooska and a salad trap. And we drew Roar, so we have this Roar as well, although it will banish itself, so this one is not necessary. But yeah, this is basically the most ideal combo you can get. You have a Omni to protect Bagooska, and you have a Bagooska that, you know, it's pretty much game against a bunch of decks this format. And you have follow-up because you have the Falco that's attached to the Bagooska. So you use the salad trap, and then you can always just if they don't kill your Bagooska during the standby phase, you would Bagooska detach Falco, and you would add back the salad trap that you would reset the salad trap that you just used last turn. So now we're gonna cover another thing this deck is known for, which is the Accesscode update jammer OTK when going second. So this is the first of all, the most basic way to do it, where you just need 3 Cyberse bodies on the field basically. This hand does it. Normal Foxy, Bale. Yeah, you know the drill. Add Sanctuary. Activate Sanctuary. Pitch Jack to summon out Foxy. Go into another Bale. And then Jack, put back the Bale, summon out. And this is it. This is 3 bodies on the field. This is all you need to OTK. So go update Foxy. Obviously, you need 2 of the bodies have to be level 2 or higher Cyberse monsters, but that's not really a difficult to get requirement. Then we go transcode. Bring back the update jammer. Now we can go into access. And it'll be 5300 and attacking twice. So I'm gonna say some dude. I would almost never go for this combo because it's not very safe. It dies to basically any sort of disruption, and you're kind of basically giving up your grind game with salads because you're not obviously not ending on any sort of Saddle Monster or Spell traps. You're just putting it all into the Accesscode talker, and with one disruption, it'll just stop your play. So only to do this if you're like desperate, like if you know like you're facing against Branded, they have a full grave and they're just gonna kill you next turn, then it's like kill them or bust, then yeah, then go for this. But otherwise, if you want to go for an OTK, I'm gonna show you a much better line and a much safer way to OTK, and it's the way that I almost never OTK using this specific combo. I always will use the next one. So the last combo was an OTK if you have access to 3 different bodies. I'm going to show you that if you have access to 4 different Cyberse bodies you can put on the field, always do this combo instead. So this hand, we're going to dump Spinny to add Gazelle. We'll trigger Gazelle, and we'll dump a Jaguar, another body, and why not summon Buffalo, so we can ditch the Foxy. So do the bail thing to get the Jaguar on the field. And a Spinny. So this represents 4 bodies. This is the way to do the Accesscode TK, where you end with targeting protection. So, for example, they have something like a Gary, or they need like a Ray tagging to Kagari. Both those need to target, and you will play around that because you will have targeting protection on your Accesscode. And this also plays through any one of common hand traps, such as a Veiler, an Imperm, a Called By, Bell. It'll play through any one of those as well. So the way to do this is you first link off into Splash Mage, and then Splash Mage will bring back any Cyberse monster. You'll notice because we have 4 bodies we have access to 4 bodies anyway. If they hand trap any part of this combo right now, we still have 4 bodies is still enough to turn into a double attacking 8300 Accesscode through any one hand trap. But let's say that the most common way people deal with Accesscode is to just wait until the Accesscode comes out and then like Veiler or Impermanent. That way you're guaranteed to stop the combo. But you can't do it here, since now with the extra body we can Splash Mage and Buffalo into Transcode, and now we can bring back the Splash Mage. Then going to Access with Update Jammer and Splash Mage. So this is a double attacking Accesscode with 4800 attack and a Transcode Talker with 2800 attack, both co-linked. Neither of these can be targeted. You'll notice at no point did Update Jammer hit the grave until the moment we summon the Accesscode, so there's no way to crow, there's no way to effectively crow or bell us to stop us from getting the Update Jammer effect, and obviously they cannot call by the Update Jammer on the summon window of Accesscode because they can't respond to the Accesscode summon. And yeah, this is way safer. This is more damage output, and if they have an Infirm, that they were holding, well, it's useless now. This is honestly like quite even safe into Maxi a lot of times, because the aforementioned drop in Nibiru usage. Nibiru is pretty much one of the only ways, the only single hand traps that can stop this. I've done this multiple times through Max C because, you know, I was dead next turn if I didn't kill them, and I think I've successfully OTK'd through a Max C almost every single time, since there's stuff that they draw like Veilers or Imperms are not gonna be able to stop this. They have to basically hard draw the one of Nibiru they're only probably on. And this is overall much safer to do than the previous Accesscode combo.